Saturday's news. But let's start with some serious events, and that was really over the weekend on Saturday, Palestine Action, when, of course, we saw some pretty incredible scenes between the police and the general public, many of whom were arrested on the basis that they'd now become terrorists, no matter what their age or background. Let's have a look at how the Guardian portrayed things.
People complicit in the genocide. Arrest the people that are selling arms, that are bombing, killing, allowing the starving of a whole nation.
Well, there we are, Ben. That's how the Guardian portrayed things. So lots of noise. You got the impression that this was a pretty brutal reaction with the police, and not a lot of information, apart from the Guardian being keen to warn people at the end of the video that you dare support Palestine Action, you are going to be branded a terrorist and you can face up to 14 years in prison. Well, luckily, UK Column was able to report from the scenes. Let's have a look at this alternative clip, which has kindly been shot for the UK Column by Will.
Excuse me, madam, what's happening?
My chair.
Yeah? Madam, why
they're arresting me for protesting genocide. They should be arresting the genociders and the arms dealers and the politicians who are colluding.
Hello, this is Will Coleshill reporting for UK Column. We're down here today in Parliament Square. You can see Big Ben behind me, and the police are one by one picking off members, or supporters at least, of the group Palestine Action, which has been prohibited as a so-called terrorist group for throwing paint on a plane, which many think is criminal damage. The police are grabbing the people one by one, and it looks like these people are going to be tried, charged, and possibly imprisoned as terrorists for holding up signs saying they support an organisation which commits criminal damage.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Why are you out here today, sir?
To exercise my fundamental human rights.
Are you willing to go to prison?
Absolutely.
What do you think about being labelled as a terrorist, sir?
It's snortingly ridiculous.
Could it be the thin end of the wedge, sir?
Absolutely. We're on the way down to a totalitarian state. Shame on you!
What do you think of what's happening?
I think it's the death of democracy, the death of freedom, the death of free speech. And it's frightening, completely frightening to see this in the 21st century. We've had it.
Was that the plan? Did you want to overturn international law? Was that the point of joining the police?
What do you think of this, sir?
I think it's shameful. I think it's absolutely disgusting. This is our democratic right to stand here and protest, and the policemen are stopping something that is no crime.
It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I've never seen anything like this in this country. This is a disgrace. This will go down in history.
Shame on you!
I am almost speechless.
They shouldn't be arresting people that are just trying to protest. Most of them are retirees. We've seen retired vicars. We've seen doctors. We've seen grandparents. Peaceful people just protesting against the genocide are being arrested by the Met Police, who don't have the brains to think for themselves. They're just foot soldiers for a genocide. They're following orders, the orders of a genocidal government that is committing genocide right now in Israel.
Ron's commander, is this a proportionate response?
We're enforcing people that are breaching legislation, sir.
Do people not have a right to free speech, sir? What do you think about this terrorist classification for criminal damage?
It's absolutely absurd.
Palestine Action are a group that peacefully protested about a genocide that's killed, depending on who you hear, 400,000 official number, 60,000 odd. But it's probably going to be far more than that. And at the end of the day, they were doing the work that other people wanted them to do. Now they've been prescribed as terrorists because they threw paint on rented aircraft. Nah, not my cup of tea. This isn't Britain. This is a fascist state.
It's really simple. UN experts have called for the UK government to rescind the prescription of Palestine action. The UN experts have said there is no internationally agreed definition of terrorism, but consensus is that it is damage and intentional damage or harm to civilians for political gains, not property. Palestine action have only ever gone for property. They've made that very clear. There's already existing legislation to cover that. There's criminal damage, there's trespassing, all sorts of legislation they could draw on. It's politically motivated because they were so shamed by some people getting into the RAF site and spray painting a plane. They were so humiliated that they've prescribed the organisation doing it. But as you can see, the people are against it, and we will keep coming.
It makes a mockery of the law.
And it's very selective because the Quakers have been doing action like that for years, and it gets ignored. They're not arrested. So other organisations have done this, but it's only because it's Palestine that all of a sudden that's labelled as terrorism. Yet other organisations have done this in the past. I know the Quakers have.
Yeah.
So they're standing by the principles and doing the right thing.
It's just piece by piece eroding away our rights to demonstrate, to protest, the democracy, and it's just piece by piece. It's slipping away from us.
You can do what you have to do. Ready, guys?
Who do you serve? Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you protect? Who do you serve? Who do you protect?
I think that we are now on such a dangerous position that we are in trouble of losing all freedom.
Do you think that many people are going to be acquitted by juries?
Yes. Yeah, the public opinion is on the side of the people.
And do you think that more people are going to come out and do this if they continue locking people up?
Yes, I don't think this will stop now.
They need to be exonerated by a jury, and Starmer and his government need to apologise for getting this so very badly wrong.
You want other people who may not even agree with you on Palestine to stand up for these people upon principle of free speech?
Absolutely, absolutely. Free speech is for everyone, and there might be people that I disagree with their opinion fundamentally, but I will definitely stand up for their right to have free speech.
Yeah, no, agree completely. They're not doing anything wrong.
We've seen arrests for this before, but now this seems to be the biggest that we've seen so far, and it seems like this is an issue which isn't going away, and more people are going to be ended up in prison or on trial for stating the words, "I support Palestine action." This is Will Coleshill reporting for UK Column.
There was an act just expressing support for the state organisation.
So excellent report by Will Coleshill there. And of course, the contrast with the Guardian report, where no substance, no interaction with the public who are obviously deeply concerned. It really shows the manipulation of the mainstream media. Now, towards the end of Will's report there, a member of the public was talking about the power of the jury to do something. And I think this is the time when we need to flag up the government's other attack at the moment, which is on just that, juries. And the man in question is retired Judge Brian Levison, who the UK column has reported on many occasions. But centre screen, you've got his independent review of the Criminal Courts Part 1. We just wanted to make sure people knew that aside from attacking the jury system, it's quite clear, and many people are commenting on this, that he seems determined to get rid of more and more opportunities for people to be tried by a jury of their peers. We noticed that on the front cover, he's also promoting the Talmud, uniquely amongst other neutral comments about justice. So make your own mind up. But of course, if we have a look at what Keir Starmer is talking about at the moment, then he is pushing heavily, of course, for things to go in Israel's favour in Gaza. Let's have a listen to this little clip from the 29th of July.
On the 7th of October 2023, Hamas perpetrated the worst massacre in Israel's history. Every day since then, the horror has continued. The hostages are still being held today. The Palestinian people have endured terrible suffering. Now, in Gaza, because of a catastrophic failure of aid, we see starving babies, children too weak to stand, images that will stay with us for a lifetime. Our goal remains a safe and secure Israel alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state.
Well, there we are. Obviously, that's a section of his full speech. Was edited, but the meaning of what he had to say was not changed. It's clear that the priority is Israel, and all the troubles in Gaza are simply the result of not being able to get food in. No mention of bombing and indiscriminate killing at all. It's simply a problem in getting food in. Now, he has also made a recent statement, and this was pushed out on Defence HQ, the government's MOD propaganda machine. And here he's saying that the Israeli government's decision to further escalate its offensive in Gaza is wrong, and we urge it to reconsider immediately. Then again, he's talking about humanitarian aid. But he goes on to say that together with our allies, we're working on a long-term plan to secure peace in the region as part of a two-state solution and ultimately achieve a brighter future for Palestinians and Israelis. Well, that's putting a lot of gloss over it. But the key thing is, while he's supposedly talking peace, UK, the US, and indeed many countries in the EU are going to pump in the weapons to keep that slaughter of the Palestinians in Gaza going. So the hypocrisy truly breathtaking. But now we've reached the stage where ordinary British people on the streets protesting about this genocide and brutality have become the terrorists. And not only that, of course, we're seeing attack on Jewish people themselves. Thank you very much for the viewer who picked up this Oxford Mail report. This is Miriam Margolyes, who was one of the Harry Potter stars as an actress. And what's the attack about? Well, she said this. She's Jewish herself. She spoke to the big issue about Israel's military campaign in Gaza. She said it reminded her of the Holocaust and added, "The terrible thing I face is that Hitler won. He changed us. He made us like him." So this lady clearly very upset and disturbed at what she was seeing happen. But what was the result? Well, the result was a massive attack on her by the campaign against anti-Semitism. Now, I've attributed the remarks in the paper which came from the organisation to the chief executive, Gideon Falter. He said, or the organisation said the remarks are repugnant. The fact she was born Jewish does not give her licence to use her immense platform to spread, quote, anti-Jewish venom. It went on to say, this has to be the end of the road. She must be shunned by the showbiz world that has fawned and bowed until now. So there you have it. You can be Jewish, you can criticise the Israeli government for its policy of killing in Gaza. You will then be attacked by organisations which, as we'll see from this next image, boast that they are working alongside the police, CPS and regulatory bodies and government in order to enforce rules and regulations against anybody they deem to be anti-Semitic. But I'm going to say to you, I found this really a dangerous situation where even Jewish people themselves are now being silenced in talking out about these horrors in the Middle East by the Israeli government and their agents, which are operating in UK alongside the police, government agencies and the British government. It's almost like everybody who dares speak out for peace is going to be labelled a terrorist inside this country, whether you're Jewish or non-Jewish.
Seems to be the playbook, yes.